Welcome to the Fortify Urge surfing practice, intended to provide a little more direct guidance in how to surf those urges and cravings like a pro. If you're not there yet, if the urges are still throwing you against the rocks and pulling you out to sea, well, welcome to beginner surfing. Like all rookies, this will take some time, but it doesn't have to take forever. If you're willing to keep practicing this, just like those wave riders, you'll be doing this before you know it. How long are you willing to practice to get there? Because if this is okay, I'll try this out for a day and see if it works, well, don't hold your breath. Urge surfing can take real work, but as many will tell you, it's worth it. And by the way, we didn't make this up. Dr. Alan Marlatt has been a pioneer in mindfulness-based relapse prevention, helping people facing alcoholism learn to watch a craving arise and pass away. If you're like most of us, however, this may not even be something you had thought was possible. In the fuzziness of addictive compulsive behavior, urges, desires, sensations, they all blend together in one. What we're going to do in this practice is start to break things down, like a chemist breaks down something into its component parts. Physical sensation, emotion, thought, awareness, an awareness that is deeper than thought and emotion and even physical sensation. An awareness in which you can rest, and from which you can watch everything else happening around you, inside you, and through you. And that, if you can get good at that, trust us, it will change a lot. So let's do this. As you dial in the microscope close enough, things start to separate. Urge and desire, for instance, not the same thing. This is no intellectual trick, not an academic inquiry where we puzzle over the philosophical difference between urge and desire. No, there's no need to even trust us on this one, because you're going to find it out for yourself. Your own experience will tell you this eventually, if you keep at it. But you're going to need to keep at it, because that eureka moment, that moment of discovery, it takes time. Not forever, just enough time. Let's dive in. Now, in real life, of course, you may not have any advance warning. Despite your best efforts at setting up your environment safely, cravings can hit out of the blue. In this practice, we're going to just bring to mind a moment where that has happened for you. You're welcome to close your eyes or lower your gaze if you can, and if you're comfortable with that. Otherwise, just keep them open. Touch in on a recent memory where you were first hit with an urge, a craving. Notice we say first hit, and we also say touch in, because we're not talking about full immersion into the entire experience. Just enough to sense again in your mind and body what it was like right at the beginning of an urge, when you first started feeling the physical pull. And what did you do? Maybe what most of us do when we get pulled by anything. Go with it, or we resist, like a tug-of-war pulling back in the other direction, for a while at least, or maybe for good. Now maybe you already know how to resist till the urge passes. It's hard, isn't it? So here's another option. Watch the tug-of-war taking place inside. like you're watching this boring TV program called The Great Tug-of-War. There it comes. Here comes the urge. And you can stop. Feel the breath and the body. Getting enough space from what's happening to be able to watch it as objectively as possible. Notice that urge coming. Watching that urge rise, crest, and eventually pass away. You may be thinking, wow, that's not my experience. I've never seen that happen. Not a problem. This takes some time. Of course, we are just doing this practice based on a memory that you've brought into your experience. And in real life, things get more intense. It's more challenging. The more you practice in advance, the better you'll be in the moment. So come back and try this again, over and over, as much as you need. Realize it's not just the urge we're watching here. It's how we're responding to it, how it shows up in the body, what emotions arise. Do you feel yourself resisting at all? Watch that. Do you feel yourself wanting to get pulled in at all? Watch that too. Resistance you notice inside. Desire you notice inside. All as a part of this unfolding, interesting, complex experience. An experience you don't have to keep getting pulled into. An event you can learn to watch until it passes. If you notice your desire starting to get drawn in, step back. Watch it. Okay, I'm starting to feel pulled into this. It's really strong right now. If it helps, you might imagine all of this happening on the other side of double-paned glass, watching in on what's happening. There, on the other side of the glass, is your body, hit with the urge. Wonder what's going to happen. And just like that, you've already started breaking the spell, jamming the pathway in the brain, short-circuiting the neural pathway exactly where you've been caught in the past. See, if we don't do anything, that urge, which activates the lower part of the brain, can sweep all throughout the brain and hijack our frontal attention. Unless we notice exactly what's happening, exactly what's going to hijack us. And with the calm of an airline pilot, we step away from autopilot, noticing what's happening, pushing away, noticing the sensations and the emotions. Before long, those hijackers give up, and they're gone. Rising, cresting, and passing away. Like all things pass away. No urge lasts forever. No craving is permanent. Urges typically last 20 minutes, with a lifespan much shorter than a fruit fly, if we can only let it go. Let it die, instead of chasing it around the room, insisting that we make it stop. Watch that body. Ground yourself in the breath if you need. In fact, you can shift away your attention at any time if you're getting pulled into the urge too much, guiding your attention back to the breath, or to another anchor around you in your life, like we discuss elsewhere. Sometimes this can help the urge dissipate as you direct your attention somewhere else. And other times the urge hangs around, in which case you don't have to keep avoiding it, worrying, wondering whether it will go away. You can bring your attention back to the urge, facing it without any fear, knowing that as you do so, you can find space to make your own choice. You may not feel that right now, but keep at this practice, watching the urge arise and move through you and then leave you. And that is exactly when your moment of discovery comes in. Wait a minute. The urge is gone. I'm still here, and I don't feel that desire to use anymore. Urge passes, desire passes. Whatever desire you thought you had to use, feelings like you needed to act on this, just left with the urge. Isn't that interesting? It'll be back, but that's okay, because you'll be ready. And if you're not yet, then you will be one day. If you don't feel able to do this yet, you'll get there. Keep practicing. Keep surfing. Keep at it. No way we're letting this thing throw you in the dirt forever.